Yeah, no, I heard you. Yeah, I'll give you two examples. One is, and it's in my book. I talk about. I'm at a dinner meeting with Haley Barbour, and I say, as part of my presentation on what's going on in my region, I say, well, we have an opportunity to pick up the governorship of West Virginia.
Yeah.
And he says, well, why would we want that? But it's important to realize that West Virginia became key to George Bush's win in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer then, if I was smarter, would have been, well, because we're setting the stage. Now, however, having said that, there was an emphasis on state legislative races at the RNC when I worked there under Governor Barbour, and that's just smart politics. I mean, the idea is, if you win governorships, you take control of state government. If you win state legislatures, you control redistricting. That's no small thing. Look at New Jersey right now. They're about to lose a congressional district. Whoever controls that process, which is going to be the Democrats because they control the state legislature, those districts are going to become, that state is just going to become more and more of a Democratic stronghold. New Jersey used to be a swing state. If you go back to 1988, it was a swing state. So the map changes all the time because we're constantly having elections, particularly presidential elections is when you see the map switch. Look at New Hampshire. New Hampshire used to be bedrock Republican, but because of migration from Massachusetts, it is no longer a bedrock Republican state. But there was certainly an effort to win control of state legislatures and governorships, first and foremost because of the redistricting process.
So you're familiar with what I have learned this was called the 1991 plan?
Well, I don't know of a plan as you describe it as the 1991 plan, but I know that when I was at the RNC at the end of the 1990s, kind of late 1990s, there was an emphasis on state legislative and gubernatorial elections.
Mm-hmm. Well, say in light of what we know in retrospect now, how politicized these guys have been inside of the government, federal government, whether .gov or strictly policy.
Well, let me answer the question this way. In my book, I talk about the epigram in my book is a quote from Thomas Paine's Common Sense, and what I say in the epilogue of the book is, keep in mind, is the law king or is the king law? And what I mean by that, and what I'm actually saying there is, be very wary of electing Senator Clinton to President of the United States. I'm not saying a Democrat, I'm saying specifically Senator Clinton. The reason I say that is because if you do, then we're going to be writing a history of 25 years of two-family rule of the United States of America. And when you do that, there's an infrastructure put in place by function of, if you had, between Bush 41 and Bush 43, you would have had 12 years. And if you got 8 years on both Clintons, which would have been, 42 and 44, that's 16, right? Is that right? In those 16 years, there can be an infrastructure that just is ingrained. I mean, it's just sinks into the very being, the DNA of the government. And what that means is, essentially, the people put in place in government for over 25 years between these two families will have an effect that is not necessarily the effect that you want if you believe in the greater ideals of the founding of the country. And so what I'm saying is, by function of electing two families into control for 25 years, you're asserting a kind of a monarchy, meaning the king. And what it means is the king law. It means the king gets to say, on Thursdays you can't eat strawberries. I mean, that's a silly example, but the king can make any law they want.
Right.
Whereas if the law is king, it means that you're a nation of law that's defined by a series of completely unrelated people who come into power, legislative, executive, judicial, and pass laws, enforce laws, review laws, appeal laws, assert laws, that whole process, which is a much cleaner process, which kind of gets to the founding ideals of the country. And so what I say in the book is, be wary of electing, going Bush, Clinton, because you're setting up a very dangerous precedent that allows essentially two families to control. Because what does the president get to do? They get to veto. They get to propose budgets, veto laws, pass laws, or propose laws, I should say. That's a lot of power that can have long-term, long-ranging effect on the future of the country. Do we really want to hand it over to two families for a quarter century? I think that's a fairly dangerous
I'm in agreement with you on this
dangerous thing to do.
aspect for sure.
And like I said, and Jeb Bush is waiting in the wings, so be careful. And so anyway, I'm sorry, to get to your point is they put people in positions and those people don't leave willingly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. There's an influence there that's beyond just the person being elected. It's the infrastructure that they put in place.